Yo, what's going on, y'all? We're back. I want to thank you if you're tuning in. I'm your host, Paco, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. Just real quickly, if you haven't, make sure you join Watch the Vote 2012 on Facebook and check out hiddenfourthbranch.com, hiddenfourthbranch.com. And if you're in the Los Angeles area, you need to join LA Liberty HQ on Facebook. That's LA Liberty HQ. Or you can go over to ronpaullosangeles.com, ronpaullosangeles.com. And I'm talking to my guest, Aaron Mathis here. You guys can check him out at libertarianreview.us. So, Aaron, before we went to the break, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Okay, so before we went to the break, we were talking about Obama. And I'll just say, for me, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember when Obama was supposed to give like this, it was before he got elected, it was way early in the race, so I don't know if you remember this, but he was supposed to give some type of speech or an important speech or an important something, quote or something. So they had all the cameras on him like he was doing some press conference or something. And all he did was throw on his Chicago Bears hat, or Chicago Bears hat on or whatever, and he was basically rooting for the Chicago team to win in the NFC Championship. Do you remember him doing that?
Like a boss. Yeah, I remember that. That was his whole attitude, you know. He had that whole persona going on, and people ate that shit up, you know.
You know, that's the last time that I can remember me sitting there seeing him on TV thinking, yes, we got a black man. Yeah, we got somebody that's going to change it. Yeah, it's different. And, you know, I got caught up into it, too. I was all hype about it. That one moment sticks out to me for some reason. But maybe about a few weeks later or a couple months later, not long, I found out about Ron Paul and everything he was saying. And then seeing how much attention that Obama got on the media, it just made me question, like, wow, why is this dude getting so much attention? And these people are the same people that don't report on police brutality. They don't report on a lot of corruption that's going on. So why are they giving this man all this attention? And I guess that's how I kind of came to find out the truth about Obama.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of which, that's a good segue to what I wanted to talk about before we get into this Romney thing, talking about the media not reporting things. Something that's been going on for past 70 days now is a Palestinian prisoners' hunger strike. There's like roughly 3,000 prisoners that have been on a hunger strike, some of them only for a few days now, some of them for weeks, and there's two of them, two brothers, that have been on a hunger strike, not eating a single bit of food for 70 days.
Wow.
Now, keep in mind, these guys have no charges. Israel has been basically indefinitely detaining, you know, people over in Palestine, Palestinians. And, I mean, we know all the, you know, messed up stuff that goes on over there. But one thing that happened today was they went before the judge because the Red Cross and the United Nations doctors came in and saw these two guys. They couldn't even stand up, you know. They're so weak and emaciated that they can't stand up. And so they're like, you know, hey, you need to release these guys. You don't have them on any charge, nothing like that. And the judge denied it, you know, so they're still sitting in a jail cell. And I just wanted to get that out there because you're not going to hear that on the news. Yeah. You know, you're not going to hear that. It's always perpetuating that same, you know, we got to protect Israel, even though they've got less people than any other country in the Middle East, and yet they've got like 20 times the military, you know, capabilities of anybody over there. But
yeah, we got Gaza throwing little rockets, but meanwhile we got Israel with missiles blowing up schools, you know, blowing up buildings. Like what? There's not even a contest. Like what in the world? How can you sit here and say that Gaza is the one that's causing all the problems and this and that? It's just so sad to see pictures of kids' bodies all over, you know.
Yeah, it's fucking. My bad. It's terrible. It's terrible. It really gets me angry. It really gets me heated up because it's like every little thing is a lie, pretty much. It's like when they're saying there's been, you know, X amount of people killed from rockets that came from Gaza, X amount of rockets, you know, came from. They won't tell you that it was over a time span of 11 years. You know, who cares if 6,000 Palestinians died within that 6 years and 21 Israelis died? You know, they make it seem like it happened all at once, and most people don't know the actual history of Palestine and all that, and it's just pretty sad. And I got pretty heated up today. I was on Facebook, and a friend of a friend of a friend or something. I ended up seeing a picture from the group Christians for Defending Israel or something, and it was a quote from Netanyahu where he was talking about, "Oh, we are America's best ally, and everybody loves it." Blah 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 blah. And all these guys were sitting there like, "Yeah, we should have him for president over here," and all this. And I just lost it. I admit, I I lost it. I ranted. I probably had like 40 comments at least.
Where was this at? Were you talking about a certain webpage?
No, it was actually on Facebook. It was on an image of this group.
Yeah.
Yeah, this group is like 300,000 people, and it's Christians for supporting or defending Israel or something like that. But it just goes to show you this false reality that the media has portrayed, the actual situation of what, or the circumstances of what's really going on over there. And that's why we got to do things like have my website and your radio show. You got to occupy the media.
Yeah, that's why I was just telling you about during the break we were writing back and forth about Cynthia McKinney. I was telling you about because she was out there and she was trying to get humanitarian aid over to Gaza, and the Israel ship stopped her. They actually locked her up. This is a congresswoman, So,
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy when you can't even bring coloring books. You know what I'm saying? You can't even bring food to people that need it just because they don't want to be exposed for the crimes that they're committing. I
mean, we took the land that's been in their families. Basically, the Romans kicked the Jews out of Israel, the Holy Land, back before it was even 100 A.D. And between then and now, besides the last century, they've had maybe 100 years. The rest of it is mostly been Muslim control, except for 200 or 300 years under Christianity. That was due to the Crusades or the Byzantine Empire. So this idea that they can just go in there back in 48 and displace 800,000 people, take all their land, not let them come back, and then wage this caste system, this war, all of this, for years. It's just ridiculous. Another news article that came out today, the fact that the defense minister, I believe he was the defense minister over in Israel, is sitting there thinking about reinstating the policy of basically, they stopped it back in 2005, but for the longest time, say for instance, I committed a crime, or at least I was accused of committing a crime, I would go to jail or get whatever my punishment was. The Israeli government would come and kick all of my family out of my house, destroy the house. That was part of the punishment. It was basically universal punishment. Your whole family is orphaned, or not orphaned, but homeless. I can't remember the term for it, but they're talking about reinstating that now. And it's like these people have already lost their land and they're losing their family, and it's just ridiculous, And it's a subject that I've noticed a lot of people in this country, and a lot of libertarians too, a lot of Ron Paul supporters too, will sit there and they'll say, I'm sure our soldiers won't turn their weapons on us, and they're oath keepers and all this. That's all fine and good. But, I'm not just worried about American citizens here. We all have natural rights. Exactly. We all have the rights to live. So I'm worried about the other people. It ain't even been a decade since we killed 1 million people in Iraq. So it's not just me I'm worried about here.
Well, the thing is, too, that they got to understand is that that's not necessarily true. And in a way it is, in a way it's not, because they can just get NATO. They can get UN troops. They can get Chinese people to come over here who don't care about us at all. Just the same way that we got military troops over there, and God knows what the military is doing to our troops over there. But they got some of them going crazy to where they're killing innocent people and massacring them. So imagine if you can get a foreigner to go to another land and do that. Why can't they get foreigners from another land to come and do that to us? Just like Ron Paul's been saying, Chinese troops in Texas.
Well, I mean, that's actually a topic or a kind of a conundrum or what have you that I've thought about a lot. Is why do we see such?
Well, let's talk about when we come back, because we're going to the break now. This is Paco, your host. We'll be back.